terhadap FKIP Universitas Lampung dalam tanda petik, bukan berarti kontribusi harus dalam bentuk materi, bisa jadi pemikiran, gagasan, wawasan, termasuk saling bantu-membantu. Anak-anak FKIP, guru-guru FKIP, lulusan FKIP harus berpikir out of the box, keluar dari pola pikir yang seharusnya, yang saat ini kita putar-putar, harus seperti itu. Jadi harus berpikir loncatan-loncatan. Siapa yang berpikir saat ini Pak Ibnu, guru D3, tamatan D3 bahasa Inggris FKIP Unila, D2 bahasa Inggris FKIP Unila, di S1-nya beliau di FKIP IKIP Sindang Sari, di mana itu? IKIP Muhammadiyah ya, di Kota Bumi, bisa menjadi asisten deputi di kementerian. Itu karena berpikir out of the box. Harus punya loncatan bahwa kita berkontribusi terhadap bangsa dan negara ini bukan hanya memiliki kemampuan teknis pendidikan, itu sudah jalur kita, tapi kita harus mampu mengambil peran di segala bidang. Siapa yang berpikir saat ini saya seorang guru SMK Negeri 1 Kota Bumi bisa menjadi kepala dinas lingkungan hidup tulang bawah? Itu karena kita harus berperan di segala bidang seperti itu.
Saya kira saya perlu menjelaskan sedikit mengenai C-Teachers. C-Teachers ini, program C-Teachers ini adalah program dari SINIO. SINIO ini Southeast Asia Ministry of Education Organization, organisasi Kementerian Pendidikan se-Asia Tenggara, se-ASEAN. Salah satu programnya adalah C-Teachers. C-Teachers ini pertukaran mahasiswa keguruan dalam melaksanakan PPL. Jadi mahasiswa dari Indonesia, Fakultas FKIP Indonesia, melaksanakan PPL-nya di negara-negara ASEAN, Malaysia, Filipina, Thailand, dan kita juga menerima mahasiswa PPL dari luar.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ratree and I'm Sakina, and we're so glad to tell you that we will lead you for today's presentation as a moderator.
But first, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to the honorable guests and also distinguished distinguished judges, and of course all the audiences participating in this event.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now, as you know, I would like to introduce myself first. This is my brother. So, my name is Rahma Vivien Belinda. You can call me Vivien. I'm from University of Lampung. I've just graduated from Unila last month in September. Okay, so I was sent to Vajrayana University, or Thai people used to call it VIU or VRU. So I was teaching in, this is my university, and this is the university that has accepted me. And I was teaching in Pak Kong Song Elementary School in Pathum Thani, Thailand. It's the same location of the university. So I was teaching in elementary school. So now, I would like to share my experience when I was there for about 1 month. And yeah, exploring to become the real teacher. That was the title of my essay. So let's come up from the thesis statement that I made. This is my thesis statement. Being a teacher in Thailand is quite surprising because of some reason. When I went there, there's a lot of thinking that come to my mind that what the student would look like and something like that. I was just like, oh my god, I'm so scary at that time. But then when I met them, they were so excited seeing me. Even every time I came to school in the morning, the student will call my name and teacher, and they hug me and something like that. That was so amazing. So there are three things that surprises me a lot about teaching there. The first one is of course the custom, because even though Thailand and Indonesia is in the same region, it is Asia, but we have barely same culture. So this is the school. The first thing that is really amazing that surprised me a lot is the disciplinary of the students. They never come late, and they also held a ceremony every single day in the morning, every day. The ceremony is every day, and after the ceremony, they will do kind of physical exercises or something like morning prayers, and after that, they will come to the classroom and they will learn there, and then after that they go out to the cafeteria, and then they will eat. Something that surprised me more is the way the teacher concerns about the students' health. So the teacher, there is a cook. Do you know cook? Cook is a chef. There's a special chef there in the school. So every single day the chef cooks or serves meals for the students' lunch. So they will eat there. So the parents don't have to worry about what their kids get at school, not like us, something like that. And then the other is the cleanliness. Every single day after they eat in a cafeteria, they will put their own stuff after they eat on the basket. So there are 3 baskets there, 3 huge baskets. The first one is for the plates. The second one is for the forks and spoons, and the last one is for glasses. And they will put there. And no one told them. They do it themselves. That was so surprising, right? And then, when you come to knowing the custom, it will be so much surprising. But can you guess what is more surprising? The language. Have you ever heard Thai people speak? No offense. I like Thai people. I like the way they sound. It's so unique. But when they come up to speak English, I'm not making a generalization, but it's what I got from my experience. My friends and my students, they sound so something like specific in certain sounds. So it makes me it is so difficult for me to understand what actually they mean. So the first one is the sound. Sometimes all of my students my friends, they couldn't pronounce double consonant. For example, like play and then sleep. They have double consonant here, play and sleep. But they will omit one of the consonant, or they will add vowel in between. So instead of saying play, they will say pay. Instead of saying sleep, they will say sleep. Just like Lampunese, right? So I've told them all of the but it's so difficult to mold their speech organ. If you don't believe me, I have a video, I'll show you later. And then, what is the other difference? The letter. Because I am teaching elementary students, so and their letter is different with alphabetical order in English, so I have to concern about the letter as well. It's so hard. So I have to concern about the letter, the words, the sound, anything. And it comes up to the meaning. So I have a really, a little cultural shock at the first week of my living there. It was so hard to understand them, but I did understand them later. So then at the first time they said, they even call my name Wiwian because they pronounce V with we, if I'm not mistaken. So they call me Wiwian, come pay the bicycle. What? I just arrived and I have to pay? No, I don't have money. No, you don't have to give me money, just pay. And, you mean play? Yeah, so I play the bicycle there. And then, that is the example of the weirdness of the communication between the person and person who has different language. Yes, right. And of course, because I am in a teacher program, and this program is all about teaching, the ultimate surprising thing is the pedagogical stuff or anything related to pedagogy there. So I found that teaching in Thai, I'm not going to compare, but I'm just going to explain what is so surprising about teaching in Thai. The first one, what is the most important thing in teaching? You know? Method, yeah. But I guess the media. The media is one of the most important things other than the others because it can make our teaching more interesting and attractive, right? So this is the teaching media. So if I'm not mistaken, I got information from my teacher or mentor that in my school, in elementary school, the government stated the system. So for 20 students, there will be one teacher. So one teacher will represent 20 students. And in my school, in the elementary school, they only have 60 students. So how many teachers do they have? 3, right? You're so smart. And then, so in that, how many classes in elementary school? 6, right? There are 6 levels. In 6 levels, there are only 3 teachers. Can you imagine that? So the students who do not get the teacher at the time because the teacher is so tight in the schedule, they have to learn via this one. What is this? Television. So they have to learn like watching the television, learn from the television, and then they learn it. It's so I don't say that it is bad, but it'll be so much better if there is a teacher. If the teacher that can control them, make them learn. How if there's no teacher and they're just playing around because they're elementary school, right? So that's why I'm so excited teaching them at that time. And the other one is the curriculum. So they in elementary school in Thai they use Mind Up curriculum. Who knows Mind Up curriculum? If you know, I will give you something. Try it. What? You have it. Okay. So it's same with curriculum in Indonesia, I think. You know. What? What's the approach?
Center.
Yes, scientific approach. Yes, that's good. I'm good. So it's a mind up curriculum. This is for you. Mind up curriculum is something like they focus on the brain. So how the teacher can activate the student's brain. I think this is the same with scientific approach, right? Because there's questioning, something like that. It's just the difference of the name. So this is, but yeah, I do believe that they applied at school, but then when I saw the teacher teaching the students, there's just like, there's no communicative teaching and learning. So what's the point of learning English? What's the point of it? That they usually use grammar translation method. That is why it's so difficult. So the Thai teacher will explain the grammar with Thai, something like that, I don't know. I just know and then something like that. And then I was just like, how can they do it? And I was really curious about their curriculum. So I asked the teacher, and then she handed me the curriculum, the printed one. And when I wanted to read it, it's all written in Thai. So I have no idea. So I gave up. And then after that I asked, after that something like that. And this is a teaching method. They usually use grammar translation method. So I have to try in the classroom how to mix this, because my advisor, Professor Raja, said I contacted him at that time, and he gave me he gave me suggestions, something like that. So I tried to make a method that is using this one, grammar translation method, but I also tried to mix it with communicative teaching and learning, and I did it. When the evaluation day, I got a perfect score, 100%. So this is when I was teaching them. So I tried to make them, because they are elementary school students, so I tried to make them, going around in the classroom and saying English things, because they never say English words when they were with their teachers. So, even though it is surprising, it doesn't mean that you have to avoid it, right? Sometimes you need to surprise yourself, avoid the comfort zone, because when you try to go beyond yourself, you can get something exceed expectation, right? So that's for me. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed my presentation, and good morning. Teachers, fellows, good morning. My name is Ratree Pochae, and I am from Phranakhon Rajabhat University, Bangkok, Thailand. It is my great honor to be here to share with you my experiences during 1 month teaching in the Philippines. If I tell you all of the experiences I had, it would take me ages to finish. So on my talking today, I will mainly focus on the very best experiences of mine. So let's see. A teacher can never truly teach unless he is still learning himself. A lamp can never light another lamp until it continues to burn its own flame. This has inspired me since the moment I decided to step into this field. During the final year at high school, when I had to choose what to study, I knew instantly that I was going to be a teacher, because teaching has always motivated me. So I eventually enrolled a course in English education program, and seeking for an opportunity to improve myself to be one of the best teachers is my passion. Then came the time when I first heard about State Teacher Project. I undoubtedly knew that this would be the perfect chance for me to improve myself to be my favorite kind of teacher I've dreamed of. So it didn't take me a second to hesitate, but to join the project, hoping to increase my professional, personal, as well as English language development. So, when I had to choose where to go, I was quite undecided, since both Indonesia and the Philippines were my intended destinations. However, to strengthen my English ability as an English teacher, I thereby decided to go to the Philippines, one of the best English-speaking countries in Southeast Asia. So during 1 month stay in the Philippines, I have experienced and learned numerous valuable lessons. But today, I will be sharing with you the very best experience of mine in personal, professional, and English language development. First, when the first day in the Philippines, I have experienced and learned that the Philippines and Thais are similar in 90 in many ways, and that made my stay very comfortable and memorable.
Firstly, the very thing I experienced myself from the first day I landed on Philippine soil was the hospitality of the university. For example, the Dean of Faculty of Education herself drove 7 hours from Baguio City to collect me at Manila Airport, which was heartwarming. Secondly, all friends from the dormitory and fellow practicumers were nice, caring, and of course they were really helpful. They played a big role assisting me throughout my teaching there. For instance, they collect me in the morning and they drop me in the evening from the dormitory to school every day for the first week, as I struggled and I didn't know how to take the bus. The friends from dormitory also took a really great care of me, always make sure to provide everything I needed, and we sit at my room with some Filipino snacks and discuss about the culture. Lastly, the advisors and students were really supportive and understanding. As I am from the country that does not speak English, so I struggled to communicate with my students at the beginning of my teaching. Anyhow, my advisor, she was really understanding, even though she had loaded work, but she took time to check my lessons and make sure everything was ready beforehand. The students were also as lovely as my advisor. I really felt comfortable teaching because they tried their best to understand me and they paid such a great attention to my lessons. However, besides the similarities, there were some distinct different characteristics. And as I observed, the Filipinos are punctual, neat, and they take things seriously. All of the teachers were required to be at school before 7:15 a.m. and every morning before I arrived, all of the practicumers would be at school already. They were also required to make handmade teaching materials, and all of the practicumers attempted to finish their requirements with diligence. On other hand, the appointed time is more flexible for Thai people. For example, if the class started at 8 a.m., it is not unusual for Thai students to enter the class at 8:10 a.m. Therefore, getting to know caring people is my best experience. Second, experiencing some striking teaching differences between the Philippines and Thailand is my precious lesson. Firstly, the classes in the Philippines are more active. Students are enthusiastic to join in any activity and never hesitate to raise their hands and ask questions. Most of the time, I found the students very confident to give their opinions and also exchange their views with their classmates. In contrast, Thai students are not very assertive and they are lacking confidence in expressing themselves. And they prefer to discuss in a small number of friends to raise their hands and ask in front of the entire class. Secondly, students in the Philippines are more collaborative. From my observation, teachers there assign the tasks to students in group, and it worked really well. What surprised me most was everyone worked in harmony, and they somehow managed to take their own role in the work. So on my hands-on experience, I tried assigning my students to prepare the presentation based on the given topic from different perspectives they preferred. It really actually surprised me seeing each of them helping one another. Every time when I was in charge of the classroom, I could see the impressive progress of the work, and I could sense the joy of them working collaboratively. Subsequently, the great final piece of work they presented made my heart full of pleasure. The creativity and well-prepared work revealed the great effort they put together to accomplish the task assigned. Hardly have I experienced this from my own country, because Thai students prefer working individually to group. And whenever they are assigned to work in group, they usually split up the work and finish their own role individually. And that is the reason why Thai teachers do not often choose this technique. Lastly, the idea of learning by doing impressed me immensely. The amount of activities prepared by teachers allows students to learn through their real experiences, while many classes in Thailand are still lecture-based class. Thus, learning about different teaching methods is my best experience. Last but not least, socializing with Filipinos has improved my English language ability. My English was not good before, but after 1 month of spending my life surrounded with people who speak English 24 hours has completely boosted my skill. Getting myself involved with friends and doing things together helped me get used to English. For example, I went sightseeing with my Filipino friends very often. They took me to different places like market, park, shopping mall, and sometimes joined the parade of flower festival. Listening to what they explained or asking them questions made me more comfortable using English. However, I also went through many awkward situations just to understand that to make mistakes is part of learning. To explain you more, my students and I were discussing about the meal, and there was the word supper in the lesson, which I didn't pay attention at all because I thought I knew it. So I confidently pronounced the word supper as super. And not knowing it was wrong, I continued to discuss the topic until one of my students who sat next to me moved toward me and smilingly whispered, "Ma'am, it's not super, it's supper." I was really embarrassed at that time. This situation were maybe unpleasant but really beneficial because it is an important factor for improvement with hands-on experiences. Consequently, socializing with new friends and improving my English is my best experience. In conclusion, 1 month teaching in the Philippines were maybe seem short, but what I have learned from the journey is unforgettable. Interacting with new people and then getting myself involved in new environment gives me more understanding of both myself and others. I've learned to understand the differences and appreciate the beauty of it. So, joining this project improved my personal ability. And experiencing teaching in different culture also gave me a clearer picture of a teacher. Different teaching techniques and style I've learned from the Philippines broadened my perspective of teaching. I also improved my teaching pedagogy, and my lessons are more effective than before. More importantly, See Teacher project allowed me to improve my English language ability. I have improved myself to speak English confidently, and yes, I will improve my students as well. I will not stop growing and inspiring others as a teacher because I believe that inspiration is the foundation of lifelong learning. As a saying of William Arthur Ward, the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires. And I really want to be a great teacher who inspires others for the rest of my life. Now, what about yourself? Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to the participant first from Thailand, Swadika. And first of all, I would like to say thank you to all the honorable judges and the guests as well, and our lovely audience who are listening and being here with us today. And as you can, before I jump to my presentation, please let me introduce myself. My name is Andari Amalia Syahrial, or you can call me Amel or Amalia. For Thai people, they give me my nickname. It's called Meow or so cat sound, and also Meow. Some people they actually call me whatever. And also I am from Jambi City, Jambi University, and I am actually from the 6th batch. So it's actually like 2 months ago. It's still fresh in my mind. And I went to Thailand, and my host university is in Phranakhon Rajabhat University. Okay. See here, these are my coordinators and also my advisors, and this is the Juara D school. And I have such a great experience about, to be a training teacher in this program. And I noticed the uniqueness of the students. Notice my titles about the 1,000 smiles that could never be forgotten. We know that Thailand nickname is the land of the 1,000 smiles, but from my title, the 1,000 smiles doesn't mean that they are only for Thai people. how could these students make me smile 1,000 times? Something like that. Okay. The first one, as you know, I'm teaching English in Tawarwadi School. So Tawarwadi School is the high school. So in Thailand, they are divided into two. Unlike us, we have like primary school, junior high school, and SMA or senior high school. But there they divide into two, primary school and high school. So they join these together for junior and senior. For me, I'm teaching Matayam 5. Matayam 5 is for senior high school in year 11. And I noticed, I think we have had the same experience for other participants, that we are having, we're struggling with the language because we are teaching English as an ESL or second language, and also we are teaching the ESL students who are not really familiar with English language. At first, I have 4 months, I have 4 weeks, and the first 2 weeks, I did my observation. So from what I observed, the Thai teachers, the English teacher, they only speak Thai, so they were given content like text, long text, and they only the teachers only read the text and translate it into Thai. So I was scared at first because imagine myself, how can I speak Thai in front of the students? I cannot speak Thai. I only know how to say Swadika or Kopunka, and that's the struggle. And so for solve this problem, I play games. I know that these students are pretty smart, and the thing is that they're lacking is the speaking skill. So I push the games into them so they can speak, they can be active in the class. And you can see they play the cross games and also how they bravely put their hands up and to speak something that they're interested about. I also have the short video about how they play the skit or short play of A Beauty and the Beast. Anyway, so the video is, I'm taking the short video for 1 minute. So the video is showing how they're actually speaking English versus Thai. They said video in video. We know how they pronounce V with W. And from here, I noticed that we are all speaking language, the same language, but we all have different accents. The same with Indonesia, we have national language like Bahasa, but from when Sumatra people and also Jawa people, when they are talking Bahasa, we kind of know, oh, this person is Jawa or this person is Batak, for example. So I noticed they have unique accent. So at the end, I kind of copying the accent, copying the way they speak, video or maybe play or something. So in a way that I want to be accepted with them, so they actually try to encourage them to speak up with students. And another one is the value and respect. So I kind of surprised with how they respect each other, and especially I noticed in foreign buildings like school gates or in government buildings, they all have this picture, the picture of their king. We don't have that culture here. We also have the picture of Pak Jokowi Widodo in front of our gate, for example. We don't have that. So they really love their king. Every time they pass the gate, they pay respect like that. And also the Mother's Day, and also for the teachers, they really respect teachers. Sometimes I'm embarrassed because I don't really think that I do that all the time. And also how they not only respect the human beings, but also respect the nature, like the animals and also the environment. And every school they always have some small greens, small garden to plant some vegetables. It shows that they respect the land. And the last one is the cultural events. So I went on August. So basically on August we had 4 big events. The first one is the Mother's Day, and also the ASEAN Day, and they have the Science Day. So for the Mother's Day, they actually like playing with the fashion show. So every student have a fashion show and representing for each country. And that one was they are representing Indonesia, and they were males. They are males, they are boys. They are not girls there. But they cross-dressing, and it's normal for them to be cross-dressing. And also like for the sports, for the Science Day, they invited students from the primary school and also from the high school, and they invited them to promote their prodi or the study program. And they asked the kids to play, so it means that to show them how to be friendly towards the community. And the last one, conclusion, it means that from what we have seen, if we have to compare our culture and their culture, we're not comparing for talking bad about our country, but it means that we somehow realize that our culture is fading now. And I think the mix with the Western culture and also the Bumima is the Korean culture, but for their culture is still strong. I mean, it's still rich. Even though if they're learning English, for example, in the English context, they use the Thai context. I mean, talks about the New Year's Day, also talks about the important days, the big holidays, and what about us? We rarely see our textbooks in our context, like what is the big holiday for us, or maybe like talking about Idul Fitri in our textbooks, for example. So I think it's our time to embrace our culture. As we are the future teachers, we should think about how can we protect and preserve our culture. I think that's my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Selamat pagi. Magandang umaga, or should I say, good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Rodney B. I am from Pangasinan State University, Bayambang Campus, Philippines, and I was sent to Pangasinan Rajabhat University under the royal patronage in Phranakhon Rajabhat, Thailand. So basically, the topic is about the best experience of C teacher. But I use the title, I love C teacher, and later on you will find out why should I choose I love C teacher as a title. So for my beginning, of course, with great pride and honor, I am here to share my life experiences and stories about being a C teacher in Phranakhon Rajabhat, Thailand. So that is about my introduction. Let's proceed. This is my university. So PSU, Pangasinan State University. This is the building of PSU, that is the facade, and then that is me in the middle. So when we were chosen to be to represent Philippines, especially PSU, in the C teacher, so we take a photo with our logo. So for the next, okay, I want to share what is C teacher all about, and then I want you to learn from my experience. And so just sit back, relax, and enjoy my presentation. So that's my invitation. Next, the objective. C Teacher Project is a program of Southeast Asian Ministers of Education organization aims to provide opportunity to pre-service student teachers from universities in Southeast Asia to have teaching experiences. So we are going to conduct our practice teaching in different countries. So that is all about the objectives of the C Teacher. And then, Pangasinan State Rajabhat University and the royal patronage is our partner university or cooperating school. Okay, I want you to focus on this one. All in all, Thais are very hospitable and friendly. I am very grateful and thankful to them. VRU is like my university and Thailand is like my country. So both of them are very close to my heart. So that's it. So that is my partner university. So this is the facade of VRU, the Faculty of Education, and then these are the instructional materials. There are robots, of course, there are many pictures, and then that is the library. And then this is all about our orientation program. So when we first came to VRU, we have an orientation program and welcome ceremony. And then those are the Thai dancers, the students, the faculties, and the one that was sent also to VRU, that girl. And then this is taken during our closing program. So basically we receive our certificates and then of course smile. These are my mentors. That's it. And then let's proceed to enabling the students to develop their teaching skills and pedagogy. So basically, one of the main aims of the teacher is to enable the students to develop their teaching skills and pedagogy. So I learned from experience that being a C teacher, you must have a variety of methods. So you just not need to focus on one method. There are a variety of methods. So let's proceed. C teacher made me realize the importance of the science and art of teaching. So I learned how to create a lesson plan, comprehensive lesson plan, and then choosing the right instructional materials, handling stress and time, handling students' behavior, conducting different activities, handling classroom management. So that is all about my C teacher experience, which relates to the teaching skills and pedagogy. Okay, so that is the picture while I'm making my lesson plan and then the instructional materials. So next, the second aim of C teacher is to encourage the students to practice their English skills. And then I want you to focus on our former Philippine President Benigno Aquino once said, we should become trilingual as country. Learn English well to connect to the world, learn Filipino well and connect to our country, retain your dialect and connect to your heritage. Thus, we, the Filipinos, must know how to communicate and use English language to create a shared understanding with the world, since English is undoubtedly a universal language. So, I didn't say that you cannot go to other country without knowing English, but you just have to know basic English. So to encourage. And in our university, in VRU, so we conduct English camps. So as you can see in the picture, Alumni Hotel, so we are demonstrating how to talk with the personnel in the hotel, and then the students also do it. Then allowing the students to gain broader regional and world view. So that is the third aim of C teacher. Now, I am fascinated with my immersion in the culture of Thais and Indonesians. So, I learned that Indonesians are mostly Muslims, right? Yeah. So, you wear your hijab and then you do not show it to men, especially if you do not know them. So, the only person that can see your hair, I guess, is the family or close relatives, just like that. So, I didn't see any hair of Indonesians. And then the taxi or the mode of transportation, the driver's wheel is on the right side, when in the Philippines it's on the left side. So I was confused at that time. And then, as the ASEAN slogan says, one vision, one identity, one community. We must work together for the common good, prosperity, peace, harmony. ASEAN, we are one. So that is all about the ASEAN integration. Okay, these pictures tell about our cultural exchange. So we wear our national costumes and then show our talents. And then, since it is all about immersion, about the culture of other countries, so we just take pictures with my Thai friends and Indonesian friends. As you can see, there is no fee. Yes, no fee. This one. And then a lot of pictures. So for the teacher impacts, program impacts for teaching methods, let's go back. There is no such thing as best method. Based on my experience, I observed that my Thai students learn best when I use methods in teaching such as activity or game-based, cooperative or collaborative learning, simulations, role-playing, and fun learning. Of course, we need to get the interest of our students. So, your teaching is useless if you do not get the attention of your students first. And then if you get the attention of the students, then you must continue to sustain their attention. So, I give rewards, just like foods, Filipino foods, and then they are happy about it, and it tastes delicious according to them. Okay, this is the picture of conducting an English camp. And then educating or teaching in a classroom where individual differences and diversity of learners are hard for me. So I need to cope up with individual differences and diversity of learners. So we must treat our students different, and we must give them the best learning that they can have. So that is my practice teaching inside the classroom. And then adaptability. So being a C teacher, you need to be adaptable, or you need to be flexible. You need to cope up with your new environment. So I learned that culture shock and homesickness were real. Of course, you are in a different country. And then later on, I accepted that they are just normal part of coming to a new country, and told myself that as long as I'm here, I should make the most out of it. So live your life to the fullest since you have that opportunity. Those are the pictures, livelihoods, and then competence. Being a C teacher, you must have competence and character. Competence, it refers to your knowledge and skills, and character refers to your values and attitudes. Those are the pictures during my instruction, and then each or hopefully. This talks about my future teacher only, so let's read the last sentence. So, I want to be a teacher who can make difference in the lives of my students, and who can be the best teacher that I can be. I want to be the kind of teacher that can that have the knowledge, the skills, and the heart. Of course, you must have the hand in order to work. You must have the head in order to teach well, and you must have the heart in order to influence, inspire, and touch lives. So that is the future teacher I want to be. So those are the pictures with my students. And then, experience is the best teacher, and being a C teacher is the best experience ever. So that is about my general or overall impression about the C teacher project. And then, those are the pictures, a lot of pictures with our side trips. And then, for the last, again, I am Rodney B, a blessed, honored, and proud alumnus of C Teacher Batch 5 from Pangasinan State University, Bayambang Campus, Philippines, signing off. But before I end, I want to reveal why I titled it I Love C Teacher. So I want you to take away the first letter. Just say it loud. What is the first letter? I, L, in short, okay. Chandra C teacher, ako Cinta C teacher, mahal ko ang C teacher, I love C teacher. And it's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Selamat siang. Dear honorable judges, teachers, and all beloved friends. My name is Sharachai Wopu. I am a 4th year student from 4th year and a bachelor student from Phranakhon Rajabhat University, Bangkok, Thailand. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, before starting the presentation, let me ask you one question. Have you ever been asked this question by your teachers when you were in high school? And could you really answer this question? If what you really wanted to be? Could you? When I was in high school, one of the teachers asked me this question, and I was like this. That put many questions in my head, if what I was really good at. Until my last time in high school, one of the teachers realized me that I always enjoyed the moment of learning new things and sharing what I have read to others. Of course, I thought that I was supposed to be a scientist, but that was not my choice to stay or in a room or in a place for too long. And later, one thing sprang into my head was being a teacher. I kept asking, why? Why have to be a teacher? As I needed to work so hard in school, but get less payment. With an inspiration to become a teacher and my why at the same time. And then finally, I decided to follow my passion on the teaching profession in university. And the answer from my why was getting more and more obvious, especially when joining the C teacher program last year at SD Muhammadiyah Bakir, Yogyakarta, with Islamic University of Indonesia. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will share with you my best experience for the program with 3 following topics. First, the C teacher impact of my major, of my teaching method, and second, the uniqueness of teaching in different cultures. And the last one, teaching skills and pedagogy development of C teachers. Now let's get started with part 1. A month program under the C teacher was a memorable month to our neighboring country that gave me a great practical impact on how I conduct my teaching in school. And this was my first day at school. I was told to wear batik, the national clothing in Indonesia. My first day at school, one of the students ran to me with a surprised face, and some of them admired me for how I look and gave me a big smile. I genuinely felt that was just a simple thing, but it could make a big difference. It's not about changing myself to fit with others, but consequently was admired by people around. For example, when I conducted teaching in the class, my students, they paid attention to my lessons and they seemed to enjoy the time with me. What I'm trying to explain by that is one of the major impacts of my teaching method in school. Next, a teacher's character is another essential factor on effective teaching. That is, how well we could conduct the plans depends on how well we have our students interact with our lessons. And student roles and teacher roles will be more visible later on, but I have to keep in mind that I should not fly my character to be someone else, since there was a saying that students' behaviors can change a teacher's character. Oh my God, I want to kill this boy! Don't be like that. Should be mine with students. That reminds me should not be like that. Also, the more I associated with the students, the better I understood their feelings. As a teacher, we are supposed to give empathy to others instead of focusing on our own self. Also, I have learned that my students, they are from different backgrounds. Some of them are from poor families, while others are orphans. So, instead of making a bigger dish like, you are bad, you're so bad, your behavior is bad, I don't like you, I would rather consider their backgrounds while teaching them. And another thing I have learned was making a good lesson plan. I spent most of the first, almost of, sorry, I spent most of the time on veterans in the first week, and I found out that did not work. Then I came back with some games. I had my students participate in classroom activities by grouping or pairing them, and I could attract the attention better. So that realized me that knowing how the children are and how we should be prepared, they will come up with the best teaching approach for them. Now let's continue by talking about the uniqueness of teaching in different cultures. Instead of being concerned about something uncomfortable when conducting a teaching in different cultures, we might be surprised with something unexpected views that might give us several benefits and several ways. Allowing myself at a place that I have never experienced or never been before, that always given me a challenge. For example, there was my first flight to Indonesia last year. If it was the time I was waiting for another flight to Tenggara, the school, I feel a bit concerned with the place that I was not familiar with, and I did not know where could I get my luggage and check in. More and more, people were not time, and then I made a try and error, and I finally solved it out. That realized me that it's not actually hard, only I dare enough to bring myself up from the comfort zone. At the school, I was assigned to teach students grades 4 to 6, and one of the problems was the language. Because my students, they were so young, and I did not know how to have them interact on my lessons perfectly. Anyway, there was a saying that every crop always has a silver lining. Then I came up with some ideas, and this is what I did. Ulangi, please repeat, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ada pertanyaan? Any questions?
Yes.
Tolong dengarkan, right? Okay, please listen, like that. I wrote some words of phrases in Bahasa Indonesia on some pieces of paper, and I raised the paper up in front of the class, and when they cannot follow my instruction, I show the paper. Sometimes I miss up like, what should I say, like, nothing bisa, not like that. I try to speak, tolong dengarkan, sometimes ayam bakaran. And they're laughing, but even I make a mistake, they like it. That worked perfectly. They like it. And so that realized me that when I get into some troubles, I should consider them as challenges. Then it will give us positive power to deal with the problems. Now, here we come to the last part about teaching skills and pedagogy of C teacher. Once I thought teaching was a piece of cake, that means very easy. I could conduct as the same as I learned at school. In fact, teaching skills and pedagogy were more than being explained by words. That is as the same as like iceberg theory that we cannot understand unless we learn and practice from the real teaching. For example, I had a weak classroom observation before starting my own teaching in school, and I could not take my eyes on the teacher's teaching. And this was my teacher that I observed. She showed me how to set a good example of the real teacher was. And students seemed to have a lot of time with her teaching, and they seemed to enjoy the time with her. A lot of time, that means to have a great time with her. So she told me skills were not about how much knowledge we had, but about how high quality in practical techniques we have. How to deal with students, how to let them interact our lessons with fun, not boring, not lecturing. That she told me. So ladies and gentlemen, if I were asked to answer of what the greatest experience for the program, I would generally answer that I I am out of any idea to get all the whole month and describe in words, because every single moment was great and memorable. I would say that the program didn't only impact on my teaching method, but also other factors, both physical, about our character, dressing, and mental views in our heart to give empathy of students. More than that, first giving empathy is the powerful thing that a teacher needs to have. And making a trial and error is not wrong to try and make mistake. So we will learn the best thing from them and we can guide our students to the right way. And last but not least, teaching skills and pedagogy cannot be sold unless we learn it from the real teaching. So, ladies and gentlemen, before finishing my presentation today, let me leave you to consider and ask yourself, are you really working on your passion and making all your effort to it? Are you? It said, do what you love and love what you do. Then you can go through with any tough circumstance. Thank you.
สวัสดีครับผมชื่อเรศมาจากประเทศอินโดนีเซียผมมีความสุขมากๆครับที่ได้มาสอนที่นี่ครับคุณเขาใช่ไหมครับ I think only you two people here will understand me. That was an example how fabulous C-Teacher project for me to give a lot of experience to remember and to learn. So today I summarize the unique thing on C-Teacher project, especially about sharing cultures and the way of communication between students and teachers. And I'll try to combine my experiences to the theory of sociology. So my name is Reza. I'm from Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia Bandung. I placed in Sharachai Wopu University Thailand, and I teach social studies in Ratree Pochae School. So that's why I'm majoring social education. So I will combine my majoring to my experience here. So teaching in the place that cultures are different is not an easy thing. There are so many problems that we need to solve before we start to teach. The problem could be our challenge to be breaking. And this challenge, mostly from the people who come to the new place, is about culture shock. I categorize two types of the challenge that we got in C-Teacher project. The first one is adapting for the cultures in daily life. It's called maybe culture shock. We adapting food for Muslim in Thailand. It's hard to find Muslim food, halal food, and then cultures, weather in Thailand, and then language in Thailand before we start to teach. But we have well preparation in Indonesia before, so I think we can solve the culture shock in Thailand. And the second challenge is about the cultures in educational behavior. When we come to Thailand, we don't know about the situation about the schools in Thailand, we don't know about the students, how the teachers, so we have to know it before we start to teach. And then fortunately, C-Teacher project gave us an opportunity to class observation before we start to teach. So in this class observation, we have opportunity to ask the students to sharing with the teachers. And what is the result? The result is when I try to ask students the simple question like, what grade are you? And the students, they didn't understand what I mean. They asked to the other students, and about 5 minutes, I get the results. Grade 8 result. It's take too long time. And for me, the uniqueness challenge, the most unique challenge in this project is about communication. For me, teaching is an art to deliver a message from teacher to students. For me, teaching is an art to many students, when they go home, they will bring so many experience in the class. But communication is the way how to communicate it, the way how to deliver that message. So in this communication problem, this is hard to deliver the message correctly. As a foreign teacher, it's really hard, and then we're not just preparing about method. We're not just only preparing the method. We just know how to communicate it better. And then this miscommunication made me hard to find a good method to students, because for social studies we have to choose a method to could be interactive learning in the class. So this interactive learning with the condition with the students cannot speak English very well, it's really hard, and I have to think twice. I have to think what method that could be useful and could be make the students feel active in the class. And I conclude that I have a solution in this problem, in this challenge. And I think this solution could be used for all participants on City Teacher project. But based on the theory of sociology, I could call it the symbolic interactionism, popularized by George Habermas. So what is symbolic interactionism? Symbolic interactionism is interaction and communication by give a meaning of something, give something a meaning to be interpreting with the communicator and communicate. So the symbol could be interpreting with us to be make the communication be more effective. George Habermas thought that one of the functions of these symbols is to improve problem-solving abilities. These things can happen because humans can think of something by giving a symbol as an alternative before taking an action. So this symbolic interactionism could be an alternative of the communication, could be alternative of the way of communication. And then, fortunately, with this informationalism and globalization era, this symbolic interactionism could be accepted by universal. So we can use the symbol in Indonesia and Thailand because the symbol could be universal. For example, in the traffic light, we will see the red light, and then we will agree that when the light is red, it means to be stopped. And when the light is green, we agree that it means to be go. And then it could be used in the classroom. Or the other example is like, when I give you a thumbs up, you will agree that it means good job. And when I give you thumbs down, and it means bad things. And these symbols could be used in the classroom to make communication more effective. And symbolic interactionism is really a superpower to connect the students and teacher in this problem of communication. It's like a bridge between student and teacher to could be connect. And I have 3 types of symbolic interactionism that I use in the classroom. The first one is by showing pictures and videos. By showing pictures and videos, I don't need to explain more to the students, because when I explain more to the students, they wouldn't understand what I said. But if I show them a picture, they will understand, and they will thinking, and they will be active in the classroom. For example, I showed a picture about Indonesian cultures, and so I don't need to explain this. I just ask the students, what do you think about this picture? I just ask the students, have you ever seen this in Thailand? And this question makes the students thinking, that makes the student critics. And the second is by body language, is to explain the solution to act out that describe what the others want to tell. In these pictures, I want to make the students explain to me how Thailand's greeting is called why, and then they they describe, they act out how to Thailand greetings by body language. And then after this, my turn to explain the students how Indonesian greetings. Not by explanation, but by body language. It could make the communication easier. The third one is by broad the media with physical form. In this media, media with the physical form, it make the students could feel the sensation. In this picture, I wrote a Sudanese traditional headband, and then I wrote Javanese traditional headband, Balinese traditional, and Pochae as a national cultures. And this media physical form make the students interest in the class, make the students understand about cultures in Indonesia and Thailand. And the conclusion is, being a teacher should be adaptable. We have to be adaptation with any condition. And then the symbolic interactionism is really helpful to solve the communication. It's really helpful to be a solution for the problem of the communication. And then that's all for me. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Hatur nuhun. Pabuntang.
First of all, I'd like to say, well done. Keep up the good work. You are all great. And I hope the audience, all of the audience, will get motivated after seeing your performance. And you presented topics, your experiences during the program, and I agree that it is sort of, best experience. And I have a few questions I want you to confirm to us about something. Maybe other judges will talk about, or will ask you other questions, but I'd like to first of all go to Ratree. How do you call you, Ratree?
Ratree.
Ratree.
Yes.
Yes, Ratree. I was impressed by your last statement during your presentations. You taught us that great teacher inspires. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And how will you inspire your students?
Thank you.
And that's my questions. And the participants will directly answer the questions. Yes. Okay. That's my questions to you, Ratree.
Okay, so thank you.
I presented you the code of a great teacher explained, because nowadays there are a lot of teachers. I mean everybody can teach, but not everybody can be a good teacher. For me, I experienced myself that when I was in very little, like primary school and also in high school, I have a teacher who inspires me. Like many teachers were good teachers to me. They taught me the lessons and things. But when I really grown up, the teacher that I really remember are those who inspires me. Like the director in my high school level, he really inspires me of how a good teacher should be. And then if you ask me how am I going to inspire my students, first of all, I will start by myself. I think for me, I need to be a good role model of students to inspire them. For example, like I went for batch 5, and then I had one term of teaching already by now. And then every time I enter the class, I always tell them that I went to the Philippines for the teaching, and then what I have learned there. And then I also would like them to learn from my experience, and then to tell them what I have learned, and then they should follow. And I will inspire them to know themselves, to know what they should learn and what they should do in order to know themselves, and they can do the best out of them. Thank you.
Vivien. Yes, you told us that you have your experience when you had your C teacher program. So my question is, what will you do to help? Because you talk a lot about education still, right? What will you do based on your experience to help improve education in Indonesia? I want you to give us real examples based on your experience, C teacher experience.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Well, actually, what if you ask me to compare between Thailand education system and Indonesian education system, each of them has their own, positive thing and negative thing. Not negative, it's like they have their strengths,
Weaknesses and
yes, and they also have their own weaknesses. So I couldn't choose the best one, but we can decrease the weaknesses. For example, like I think this is nowadays we are in globalization era. Everything is dealing with technology, and what I saw that in Thai, they really utilize technology a lot. So I think we have to do that also. We have to improve our students to cope with technology. So we couldn't avoid that. Nowadays, students, all of them have smartphone. So instead of making them throw away their smartphone, I think we can use that as the media of the teaching and learning process. So we have there's a lot of application that we can use. So it's also, dealing with my thesis. My thesis is about blended learning. So I think this is good to apply it because in our university we have internet connection, and at school also we already have internet connection. So I think it's good to make the students learn through technology, through digital learning. So there's a lot of application that we can use like Kahoot or Duolingo or something like that. It's really good. Why don't we utilize it? Because I think if we can utilize it a lot, the students can be better. So instead of they playing gadget every day, they can use their smartphone to attend a lecture, like online class, something like that. So I think it's a really good thing. So, and the media is one of the most important role in the teaching and learning process. So I think we have to also consider about the media and the teaching method, of course. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Vivien. So, I'd like to go to the last presenter. I'm interested in the theory you conveyed about,
Symbolic.
Symbolic interactionism. Yeah, how did you apply the theory of symbolic interactionism in your teaching learning process? Because I want you to give us a real example.
Yes. Okay. The simple example is like to use body language. For example, like how to appreciate students by giving a thumbs up.
What subject did you teach at the time?
I teach a social subject about the cultural differences about Indonesia and Thailand.
Oh, that's the subject. Okay, go on.
So the first is like I show the picture about Indonesian cultures, for example. So I just ask the students, what do you think about this picture? For example, I show a picture about angklung. I show the students angklung. What do you think about this picture? The students will think about it, and then, have you ever seen this before? Yes, teacher, I have that one in Thailand. So, in this symbolic interactionism, the symbol by picture, they would understand that angklung is the one of Indonesian culture. It could be understandable that I just explain to them angklung. It's like students angklung is one of the traditional music in Indonesia. I think it's different when I use a symbolic interactionism by showing a picture. It's the first example, and the second example is like to body language. It's simple and it could be used for all participants, like just showing number 1, 2, 3, or just and to arrange someone, and then to appreciate people by symbol or in body language.
Okay, thank you, Reza, for this.
Kundaya, is it right? Okay. Usually we make an acronym to form a word, but you produce an acronym to form a sentence. I love city terms. Is it right? Okay. And I would like to have a look at one of the letters, that is C. C stands for competence and characters. Okay. So what kind of characters teachers should have, and how teachers' characters affect the students?
Okay. For the character, if I'm not mistaken, character, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. For the character, as a teacher, you must have the teaching is a noblest profession. So we all know that teachers inspires us, teachers motivates us, teachers influences us. So for me, being a teacher, you must have the noble dedication. So in spite of challenges, obstacles that you have met on your way, you must know how to overcome them. You must not fear failure, you must desire for success, just like that. And then, aside from noble dedication, of course, sincere commitment. Sincere commitment is that you know that every student has the capability to learn and also has the capability to succeed. So, if you know that on your goal is to make your student an astronaut, for example, help the student to become an astronaut. Or if the student wants to become a teacher, then share your experiences, your life, your story to the students. And number 3 for me is unending love and passion to the profession. So being a teacher, you must know that a teacher never stops learning. So being a teacher is a lifelong learner. And then you must continue to learn in order to share it with your students. And teachers, though teaching is not a high salary profession, we all know that the benefits of being a teacher is the kindness and the memories that you have with the students. So for the character, all in all, you must be passionate. That's all, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then my next question goes to Mr. Sharachai Wopu. Is it right? Okay. One of the points, teaching in different cultures. Is it right? And then beside that one, from your presentations, you gave more data to what Vivien gave us, that Thai teachers or Thai students couldn't pronounce word where two consonants close to each other. This, for example, when you pronounce dengarkan, so we have sound R and K. Then you put sound sound A. Dengarkan, but you pronounce dengarakan. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, come back to teaching in different cultures. So, after you have conducted teaching in Indonesia, what kind of lesson that you will be able to implement in the next teaching situation where your culture, the teacher culture, is different from students' culture?
Okay, thank you for your questions. Okay, you mean how to apply my lesson plan in another different cultures, right? Based on my teaching experience, one of the teaching method that I used was about PPP, presentation, practice, and production. Usually I use that teaching different cultures, because I have learned that in my university in Thailand. And the first time that I mentioned that I focus on lecturing, because I focus on this method, but it didn't work. But I have to adapt the teaching, but I still remain still remain like the process or the procedure of the teaching method. Like I would say that I would get some games involved in my teaching method, like some games especially during the practice, like PPP like that, so that I can, even though I cannot gain our students' attention 100%, but at least I know that I can have my students participate. That is number one for me. And then I can apply that to another teaching different cultures, so that even they don't understand me 100%, but when they go through these games, these class activities, so at least they learn from what we do activities in the class together. So that is what I mentioned. Thank you.
You are very nice, very smart, and you have very good behavior too. I think Ibu Ali, Pak Eka have already asked you specifically about the teaching or about that program. Right? Now, I think my question is mainly about the programs. In other words, usually you will find something that inspires you most, or something that you dislike most, for example. Can you share about that? Which part of the program you like, most, and you need to improve something? Any of you, please.
So which part of the training program from the state teacher I like the most is the students. I personally love teaching, and I think from my experience as a student, I could see, we can actually avoid the fact that we somehow evaluate our teachers from like high school and middle school and junior high school. And when I was a student, I was inspired by one teacher, and he really loves students. So that was the point where I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be like that kind of teacher when I was growing up. So when I am right now, I had the chance to teach in Thailand, where the students in Thailand, they're very great, they're very nice, they're very polite, and they accepted me. That was the thing where I wanted to work hard for these students. I want to complete their weaknesses so that they can be perfect students. I think that was the experience. Teaching is not only about the, we are teaching them, but actually we are learning from each other. They teach me how their culture is, and we also learn from their culture, and they actually learn something from us. I think about sharing is something that I like the most about the program.
Is there anything that you suggest the program? Any suggestion to improve the program or something?
Suggest the program? Yeah, surely. I would like to suggest. I actually strongly suggest the future generations of FKIP or education students in order to take part of this program, so that it's for me, as I'm teaching English, my major is English. It is the chance for us to see the broader world about how the world is. We learn English in the campus, but we don't know how the actual world outside there. And we only know about how to speak English properly in the classroom, but when we go outside, it's not like that. We somehow have to, cope and try to be fit with other people's culture. I think that's...
Andari,
yeah?
that was not a question, do you have any suggestions for the program's improvement?
Yes. Maybe not much, but I wish that they could actually tell me because this program was chosen randomly. Like I didn't know where I was going to, and also like going to the Thailand and what type of the culture that we're going there. And I think I have the little information about the culture. So at first I was a bit nervous because what will I do there? I mean, I believe that when we go outside the country, we face the culture shock. So I think that this program for the next future, you should share some opinions, or maybe from the senior, the organization, like give us more detail into the programs. Thank you.
Okay, for me, I would like to go with what did I learn to be my best experience that I really appreciate. As in Thailand, we learn English as a foreign language. This is like in Indonesia. But the thing is, in the Philippines, they learn English as a second language. So I really see a big difference between how we conduct the class or the methods that we use. So when I was there for the whole month, being in the class of learning English as a second language, they were pretty much different from learning English as a foreign language like in Thailand, because learning English like foreign language we only learn in the class, but when we're out of the class we don't use English, we don't talk in English. And then most of the approaches that the teacher in Thailand use it goes more to like grammar translation and lecturing and things. But in the Philippines, I really see that they use communicative language and task-based approach. They give tasks to students. It really amazed me, as I mentioned earlier, how they help each other and then how they organize their thoughts, and then they can make out a very good presentation. That is what I learned to be my really best experience and motivate me to improve my class and my students in my country. And then for the second questions of what suggestion do I have for to improve the program, well, I don't really have any suggestions because what I have been through, what I have received is more than I can wish already. But if I can give more information just to make the program perfect, I would say that, like, based on my experience, when I didn't know the lessons or the topic that I was going to teach before I go there. So I went there and then I just got my topic for the first week, and then I feel like that was like, the time was really short for me to make my lesson perfect, because the way they teach or the topic was really out of what I am familiar with. So for the next batch, if it's possible to be, I would like the host university, to mention already what class are we going to teach, or like in what subject we're going to teach, so that we can make the lesson plan before we go there, and that we can make our class very perfect. Thank you.
So for the first question, what is the best experience and the thing that I like the most and the thing that I hate the most? Same with the other. The thing that I like the most is the students, of course, because we are the teacher, you also are the teacher. And then the thing that I hate the most is the regulation of the CMEO. If I'm not mistaken, we were all of the participants of teacher program will spend 1 month in the school. So in that 1 month, it will be separated into four steps, right? The first one is the observation, if I'm not mistaken, and the second level is the coach teaching or teaching assistant, and the third second week is the assisting, and the third week is the teaching practice, and the last week is evaluation. So I think it will be more, it will be better if all of those months is spent by teaching, because we are practicing our teaching there. So only 1 week teaching is not enough, because I think it's only me who got a different regulation, because I was teaching in special school because of the school lack of teachers. So I had to teach from the first day until the last day. So I had to teach 1 month full. So I can see the improvement of the students. From the first time they don't know the letter, and then at the end they can say simple word, even a simple sentence like, or simple question like, are you happy? Or yes, I am happy. At the first time I went there, they even didn't know how to say, how to answer what do you feel today, or something like that. Or they can't, pronounce letter perfectly. They pronounce S with ek. I'm not saying. They pronounce V with we. So there are so many, misunderstanding about letter and words of English in Thai. So 1 week is not enough. So I think for CMEO, it will be good. It will be better if 1 month for teaching. I mean, the observation don't need to be so long. Just go on. Just practice like that. Thank you.
Yeah, one thing that I like the most for me is the school in Thailand that give me so many lessons, because now I'm in a period of teaching practicum in Indonesia. I'm still in teaching in SMA Sumatera 40 Bandung, and I got a lot of lessons from teacher project. It means as a teacher we have to be adaptable. Like I said in the presentation, we have to be adaptation in every situation in the class and in the school. So it's the most important point and the most that I like in this project. And then the suggestion from this project is I disagree with Vivi that we have to remove the class observation, because we still need to adaptation with the cultures there. We still need to observe. We have to know the students before. But I think see teacher with 1 month is not enough for me. I think it could be more than 1 month, and then for me it could be more than 3 participants, more than Indonesia, Thailand, and Philippines. I hope it could be 10 members of ASEAN could be participating from this project. Thank you.
Concerning with the possibility to have a teachers program more than 1 month, but the problems is on visa and also living allowance. Whether all of the teachers are able to support themselves to live in other countries with, for example, 2 months or 3 months. That's why even though there are many students who suggest to have more than 1 month teaching practice in foreign countries, but your suggestion and other friends' suggestion related to this one cannot be met in the near future because of that considerations. We realize that teaching in 1 month, including observation and also cultural adaptations, is not enough. But because of that consideration, so we cannot meet your expectation. All right.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, challenge. So maybe when the students have commitment to be able to support themselves to live in foreign countries more than 1 month, then we will let the students to have teaching practice more than 1 month. All right. Sorry, I interfere the other students' chance to answer question. All right. Okay. All like to only the other students who haven't answered my student questions.
Okay, based on my teaching again, if I have to answer of what, the best of the greatest from the greatest thing from teaching this program, I would generally mention that it would be the duration of study in Indonesia. That is totally different from Thailand. Like in Thailand, each class we only have like 50 minutes for one class, but in Indonesia, you divide into two periods, right? Especially in elementary school, if I'm not mistaken. Like the first period will be 30 minutes, and the last period will be maybe 7 minutes. So what I mentioned this because it's suitable for my lesson plans, my teaching method, like PPP, what I mentioned. Because in Thailand, if I use my teaching method, it doesn't work 100%. Or it's not good to use this lesson plan as I experienced. But apart from Thailand, in Indonesia, if I use this PPP, like in the first period, 30 minutes, I can mention what we are going to learn in the next periods of next class. Like we're going to do these lessons, and I mention, and I gather our students to understand this lesson first, and then on the rest of the rest period, I can get my students to play games, to integrate them with games through classroom activities like task-based learning or classroom activities learning. So that is my best experience from joining this program.
The best experience that C teacher taught me is that I get to know myself more. I just share my sentiments or thoughts. When I was in college, I didn't want to become a teacher. So I want to become an engineer or accountant. But my parents cannot afford to spend my expenses, or they cannot give me money in order to do what I want. But C teacher made me realize what I want right now. C teacher made me realize that I will become a future teacher. So I got to embrace the fact that I am taking education and then I will become teacher someday. So C teacher helped me to know myself as a person and as a professional. And then through C teacher, I learned that as long as you are devoted to the profession, which is teaching, there is what we call self-fulfillment or self-satisfaction. So I just feel that being a teacher, of course, is a hard job, challenging, but the return of those practices and teachings that you have is, of course, priceless and precious. And for my suggestion for the C teacher program, maybe less time or less days for observation. Maybe it could be 3 days only. And then for the teaching assistant, maybe 2 days only. And then the second week, just proceed to the teaching. So second week teaching, third week teaching, and then the last week, for the 3 consecutive days teaching, and the last 2 days reflection about your experiences as a C teacher. So that is all. Thank you.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Anggun Chayani from English Department 2016. And as we know, every teacher has their own method to teach their students. And what kind of method that you use to teach them, and is it effective for them? Okay, thank you. This question for the second and fourth presenter. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, I would tell you based from the time I joined C teacher, as I told you that I learned how learning English as a second they do activities based like task-based and then communicative, and of course it's more to student-centered. Well, if you know the background of Thailand, our methods, our approach was more to teacher-centered. You know, like student sits and then teacher, note on the board and then note down, read, and exam. So it really changed my perspective of teaching. When I returned, I had 1 month teaching in Thailand from what I learned from the C teacher, and then I can mention that I use more to communicative approach. Yeah, I use more communicative approach, and I made my class more to student-centered. Like I give them the topic, and then you can do whatever. And then if you need any assistance, then just raise your hands, and I can guide you. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. And then from 1 month teaching, I can say that it really affects like so good in my class that I taught. I can notice that from the first time I went to the class, they were not really open up, and then they were not so confident to speak up, as we don't speak English. But after 1 month passed, I can notice that my students, they speak English more in the class with me. Thank you.
It's between potential and kinetic energy. So I just present them pictures showing possessing kinetic or potential energy. So I just ask them to be on the back, and then this is the picture, fall in line, which is potential or kinetic, and then they fall in line if it's potential, fall in line if it's kinetic. So that one or that method, it works for them. And then for the competition or solving part, I just give them, what do you call this one? Worksheet. And then I group them, then they solve the problem. And then you must know that as a teacher, of course, English is a barrier, but that is not an acceptable reason for that. So I just use the Google Translate in order to translate in Thai, in order for them to understand it. And then for the winners for the game, and they will be rewarded, I just give them Filipino foods and they like it. Or give them tokens, just like that, in order for them to become motivated or in order to get their interest. And then for the last part, I just play a video, and then I let them to share their thoughts.
The question is for the first speaker, the third speaker, and also the speaker. So do you have any obstacle during the program? And can you please tell me about how can you solve that problem? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Philly. The most disturbing one is the language. Because, I was teaching elementary school. They do not understand English, and I do not understand Thai. So how will you think the class will go on? So, at the first week of my teaching, I tried to use Google Translate, but then it doesn't work. Because Thai and English in Google Translate will translate it literally. So if you ask what do you watch? So the Google Translate will translate in Thai, not watch seeing a television show, but watch clock that you use the device, something like that. So I think it wouldn't be working for 1 month. So I decided to learn Thai at that time, so I can speak little Thai, like sit down, come on, listen to me, something like that. Like, for example, they asked me and I didn't hear them, and I said, Alena ha, something like that. What is it? Yes. And then, but it didn't really help me too, because I got a limitation in learning Thai. So, because I was teaching elementary school, I tried to use full facial expression and body language, so they will understand me. So for example, if I have to move around, I have to describe why they should do. For example, when they want to play a game, I had to move around, give an example, and something. It is exhausted, but yeah, we have to think. We have to do something that can make our students understand and follow the class. It's just for the second week, and then the third and the fourth week, it went well, something like that. So you have to observe your students. In that observation time, you also have to begin the teaching process. So the observation, actually from my experience, the observation can be done while you start your teaching process. So I think that's all. Thank you.
Is it clear for Philip? Oh, okay.
Sorry, before I start answering the question, may I know what major you in?
I'm from English Education 2016.
Yeah, what major? English.
English.
Oh yeah, so I think we share the same major. So for me, I think it's pretty much the same about language because in my school, I think it's the facility and also the language because language is somehow how we connect to our students. But if that is the problem, then it's going to be, the gap between us, and it's hard to connect. The first thing that you should do is how do you attract your students? How can you attract your students to like you? Because in order to, teaching language, we have to be able to communicate. If your students are not interested in you, then you will have a big trouble. For me, we know that, I don't know if I have to say this, but I somehow know about K-pop, and they're all lovers, K-pop big lovers, like Lisa or something. So every time I come to the class, I talk to them about, do you know Lisa? I love her, even though maybe I'm not. I'm kind of a big liar, but I told them, and they were all screaming, and they came to me and asking questions about my country, my city, and also about Thai food. What Thai food do you like, or something like that. So it's decreasing the gap between you and your students, because the teacher's job is how to motivate your students in learning. And if they don't like you, if they're scared of you, they're shy away of you, then they won't learn anything. They won't, they won't come to you and start to know you. And another thing was the facility. As you know that in Thailand, the private school and public school are different. In Indonesia, usually the ones that we have the higher technology is in private school. But in Thailand, it's quite the opposite. So public schools have more opportunity in using the technology. But in my classroom, we still use a very traditional way of learning. Like the facility is still using the chalk with the board, and it doesn't even have the aircon. We have to open the window so the air can come in, and there was no such as like the projector and also the speaker. So I had trouble because teaching English, we need those facilities like speaker and videos because that's what people do nowadays. But I don't have that, so I have to be creative. I have to analyze what are the types of the students. Sorry, hello. Hello. So we have. Okay. So we have to get to know your student. Get to know your student. Hello. Sorry. So first of all, you have to know your students. The characteristic of the students. Sometimes in a class they are more passive, and this one is more active. So what are the things that you should push them to do? Like how do you complete your students? I think if you love your students, you will work hard and find a way to solve this problem. I think that's my answer. Thank you.
Language also, and then food. Yeah, language and food. And like what I said before, I use presentation. I give a picture to make the communication more effective. But I had a moment that in the classroom there are the projector are broken. So I just have whiteboard, and I have to use this and I have to just explain to the students with the condition. The students cannot speak English very well. They didn't understand English very well. So it's hard for me to teach like this. I just use the symbol with the in the whiteboard. I draw a mind map to make students understand. And for food, the food in Thailand, it's hard for me to find halal food. But in Damrolang Central School, there's just one halal food nearby the school. That is noodles, and I eat noodles in 40 days. But they are very respect to Muslims. They really respect to us because in the school they gave us representative place to pray, and then they sent me to the school that nearby the mosque for me to pray in every Friday. That's all for me. Thank you.
It goes to, yes, congratulations to Sharachai Wopu. Let me explain by myself. Wopu, how do you feel?
Just feel released now.
Yeah, it's good. And at the same time, I'd like to go to the second winner. The score is, it's a bit, there's only sort of slight difference. 76.6. The second winner goes to Ratree Pochae. And this is now the first winner. The score is, the second winner's score is 76.6. And the first winner is 77. And the first winner goes to Rahma Vivien Belinda. And yeah.
Well, first of all, we have to thank to the God that we are able to, to hold this activity from the very beginning, inviting the teachers, alumni, and then selecting the best 10 top. As we know, the number of teachers, alumni who sent, there is more than 40. So actually the 6 students are the best. As has been mentioned by Pak Eka, you deserve prize, deserve to be the winner. 10 out of more than 40. So we have selected you as the best of. However, we have to decide only 3, and it's very difficult to come to 3 CTJS alumni. So I hope that those who are not the winner today don't be sad and keep on being motivated. You will be able to perform better, and also you will be able to be successful not only in this event but also